we're back. It's Monday, 8 o'clock p.m. And you know what that means? Indy Reporter time with your host, me, the current voice, the current face of Indy Reporter, Steve Whitmer. So far, we got Johnny Longfeather and Ducky in the chat, just waiting on the other people to show up, our usual gang. You know how we treat it over here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 90s Grunge Week. So we start off with a little bit of STP. Who knows where it's going to go from there? Maybe Soundgarden. Definitely not Nirvana. Who could say? There's a lot of different bands that we go off of. If you guys have a pick, send it in. reporterindy@gmail.com or just DM us through Twitter, but not Facebook. Don't DM us through Facebook. All right, I don't check any of those messages. Nobody checks those messages. All right. Big day at the State House, a lot to go through. Boy, there's a lot to go through, and tomorrow is going to be even worse. All right, so there were only 18 bills and 8 committees, 13 amendments total. Some of them had to amend and vote. Some of them were just heard. But let's start it off with first thing this morning through Education, SB 99. This is a massive bill through SB 99 and through an amendment. So SB 99 has a few different layers to it. It's studying what schools are doing with their paid leave. There was a Greg Taylor actually brought this up when it was on the Senate floor, and he's like, "Why are we talking about like miscarriages and stillbirths up to 20 weeks?" And I think they're monitoring like paid leave for miscarriages. I don't know. I'm not saying that's what's going on, but it does make you wonder why that language is even in there. But I think overall they're just trying to figure out about what people are doing with their time off. Not that it's any of their business, though. I got a feeling there's a story, because there's no reason why they wouldn't. Also, the other two things. Okay, so one of them got a lot of talk. The other one I think is really good. Talked to a couple of teachers. This one has the 75% reading rule. This one is very direct and very results first. Less than 75% of third graders passing the state reading test for 3 straight years. Because remember, there was a bill last year that said, hey, if you got over a certain percentage, but we can see progression that you're doing really well, you got an exemption. And how many of those exemptions? I believe there was a story out of like how many exemptions there were for non-English learners. So kids that that are having a hard time learning English, you know, the foreigners. And then a lot of them, they got a pass. They got an exemption off of it. But this was the one that got everybody talking today. Well, 2 of them, really. One of it was taking away certain... hold on, I want to make sure I get this right. Not that one. It was about taking away college classes, depending if they pay well or not. It was actually kind of funny watching it, because I didn't even know this was in the bill. I was like, there's probably not going to be too much controversy on here, but we'll see what happens. And basically what it does is that, hey, you know what? If you can get paid as much just getting a high school education compared to a college degree, then we're probably going to take those off. Oh, yeah, there was the stillbirth paid leave study. That's what it was. It's not a mandate yet. So they want to see who offers paid leave for birth, adoption, and stillbirth. It does not require leave yet, just gathering data. I have a feeling there's a reason why, though. All right, so here's the other one. If fewer than 75% of students pass the grade 3 reading test for 3 years straight, the school must use state-approved reading curriculum, hire science of reading coaches, and use approved screeners and tests. Also keeps mandatory retention if failing. So mandatory retention is the most important part, because how many of these kids are going to the 4th grade and they don't even know math or reading because they don't know English? And this is the funny one. Dude, I was dying. I was dying watching this live, because Delaney is such an unserious person, fear-mongering guy, boomer, basically, 80-something-year-old boomer. He just needs to retire already. But basically with this higher ed accreditation plus killing low enrollment degrees. So Secretary of Education Jenner brought something up of like, hey, you know, there's only 5 people that go to this class, but yet we have 12 teachers for it, and making a crap load of money too. And don't forget, that's our money. Like, the loans are, remember, we have all those kids out there that is like, hey, you should pay off my college loan. Okay, well, if you get a Taylor Swift degree or as Jenner said, an underwater basket weaving degree, I don't think we should be funding that. So she did say a program only that has 5 students and with 12 professors. And basically, Delaney was going on this fear mongering rant about the arts. Like, oh, what are you going to do when you get paid $50,000 for an arts degree and you're only getting paid barista range? Or that's not what he was saying, but that's what Jenner was saying. Basically saying, paraphrasing. And Delaney was like, I'm really concerned about the arts here. I think we need to be worrying about them. Drew in the house, Polly in the house. Let's go. We're all back. Wart, let's go. Degrees. Well, that was the confusing part because I think I had to do with classes and degrees. Well, let me show you this part right here. So the accreditation review. State will evaluate current accreditors, look for alternatives, even consider non-federal ones. That kind of. Oh, here it is. If a degree graduates very few students, like 3 to 10, depending on level, and is considering a low earning, school must ask permission to keep it. If denied, eliminate program plus cost. Tiny majors with bad outcomes are on the chopping block. Dude, I know there was all these Instagram videos and clips coming out of all these colleges. They're like, oh, what'd you major in? And it was like basketball theory with a minor in phys ed or some crap like that. It was just the craziest things. Like, how is that going to be applied for life? And it was kind of funny that basically Delaney was mad that the arts program might be cut. Listen, Delaney, I don't care about macaroni art. All right? I don't care. But the biggest one of them all was an amendment. It was Amendment 1. Right? I think this was Amendment 1. Amendment 11. Now, Amendment 11. Hold on, is this the right amendment? Let me just pull it up again. No, Amendment 5. Oh, that's a different one. Okay, so it's Amendment 5. Okay, so this amendment had to do with social media. And it was killed in the Senate because I just don't think nobody could agree on it. But then the Haley Busby murder happened, and then it got brought back in. It not only got brought in, but also the dad and the stepmom of Haley Busby was there giving testimony of how they were in support of it. And not only that, but then they go and speak with Todd Houston. I can see Kyle Walker over there. And they were urging stronger online child protection laws. All right, so this is going to get very, very interesting. Why do I say that? Because in the real world, I do not know how this is going to work. I think putting up speed limits is the only way, like making it so annoying that they are not going to be able to, the kids are not going to be able to get on social media. Okay, so let me tell you about this amendment. I had a Chat GPT break it down for me. All right, so the big rules: age checks required, which we already see that anyway with certain websites. Age, Indiana residency, if under 16, must get verifiable parental consent. I don't even know what that looks like. Mandatory kid safe mode for under 16. If the user is a minor, the account must automatically, restrictions. They cannot be searchable, get messages from strangers, receive algorithmic recommendations. That was something that they talked about a lot, was these algorithmic recommendations. You know, where it's swiping and it's trying to learn off of you or what you like. That's what they're talking about. Parent control required. Parents get a separate password, time tracking, daily, weekly limits, time of day restrictions, ongoing age monitoring. Platforms must recheck age if 25 hours in 6 months, 50 hours, every additional 100 hours, whenever demographic info changes. If a kid sneaks in without consent, platform must notify user, give 30 days to provide parental consent. Data limits. When I saw this, I'm like, okay, I think you can do it with data limits. And can only use it for consent, must delete immediately after. Now, the enforcement part is going to get interesting. The violations, the deceptive act under Indiana consumer law, meaning the attorney general can sue. You got civil penalties, injunctions, potential big fines. So instead of please comply, it's break this and you're committing consumer fraud. And they're basically talking about the social media companies. I don't know how this is going to work in the real world at all, because you're going to have kids, and even during testimony, there was one parent saying like they're having a hard time controlling their kids on social media because they're always finding a workaround. And I think even Becky Cash talked about it was like a fakeagram or something, or a fitstagram, like a fake Instagram to make the parent think the kid that's their Instagram, but they actually have a different one, the real one, as they would say. I tell you what, some of you need to keep playing with that. I'm playing with what? Social media? Yeah. It sucks. So yeah, I don't know how they're gonna get away with it. Or what I mean is, I don't know how it's gonna work in the real world logistically, because kids are kind of clever, and once they find out from some other kid of how to work around something else, then it's not gonna work. I don't know. We'll see. But the Busbees were there. Oh, the AI. Yeah. Hey, you know what? It takes too long for me to read the thing and then comprehend it. So I just do a quick rundown. I don't need to go into the weeds of stuff. If I do, then I'll look for it in the bill. So like we're gonna talk about SB 179 with Amendment 11, like this part. That's why I put the amendment up. That one's gonna be. So yeah, the Busbees were there. They're trying to have this pink alert, I think, if I remember right. And then, we found a bunch of other things out today, too, that she's been just talking to the dude for like a year. Yeah, nothing's been passed. By the way, it was just heard. There was no vote. It was still in committee. I'm sure there'll be amendments and vote next week, if I had to guess. Peppy the Frog is here. Let's go. We are totally back. Everybody's joining the party. All right, SB 226. This is what I am calling the Morales Law, because there is going to be a bunch of new safeguards now, especially for bidding. Okay, so contract requirements. I mean, there's like a huge, it's kind of a multi-layered thing, but I just want to give you the high notes of before, what it was and how it is now. Okay, so like mid-sized purchases between 50,000 and 150,000 before this bill. Agencies could solicit quotes, but rules were inconsistent. Now, must solicit more than 3 quotes, 7-day notice, picked lowest responsible bidder. Agency purchasing reps. I think this is going to end up being an unfunded mandate, because basically what this does is says it gives every agency must have a purchasing representative. So think of their like mini-me. So each agency must nominate a purchasing rep, must get them trained, cannot make purchases if they don't have one. IDOA, the Department of Administration can reject the nominee, remove them if they're not doing a job. So no more random employees buying stuff on their own. One accountable person per agency. This does give like, hey, you're the one that purchased it, but we're also going to have a little oversight on you. Moving forward on that. Before there was the annual procurement planning, it was optional and inconsistent. Now the agency must submit procurement plans aligned with budgets. It's kind of wild, to be honest with you. I mean, Diego really made everybody basically write a bill to close all the loopholes. Okay, so the no bid contract potential. Loopholes allowed agencies, like Secretary of State, to award contracts without competitive bidding. Now, implicitly restricted, more oversight, required planning, verification, competitive quoting. I think this is going to be so much better. It's so funny because I saw Das Noble and like Nick Whitley from MTX, and they gave Diego so much money in campaign donations, so much money. And they're just working to try and get that next contract. All right, okay, so going into judiciary, various probate matters. Hold on, I really wanted to make sure that was Carrasco. I think this was just a cleanup bill. Okay, SJ1 and SB3. I want to make sure I'm on the right bill. No. Where is the other one? Oh, no. Okay, that was for a different, that's in the House. Okay. I think that was all cleanup for SB 71, SJ1, and SB3. So SJ1 is a constitutional amendment. This is basically how it works is that you have to have 2 different sessions of making sure everybody's okay with this, and then it will go to the ballot. So you will be voting for this in November, just to let you know. And what this does is that it opens the door for no bail anymore. So before, the only way you could deny somebody bail is if it was murder or treason. This amendment says, no, actually, it's still up to the discretion of the judge, I'm sure, of saying, no, you are way too dangerous to be out with the regular public. Come to find out, there are 31 states and the District of Columbia that already do this. Now, Courtney Curtis, who works for IPAC, said the appellate courts will still be looking at the cases, though. So it's not even that you get to be like a judge says, "Hey, you're not getting bail, Mr. Jaywalker, Mr. Butterfinger Stealer. You are going to be in the clink for without bail." And the appellate courts will be looking at this. Now, SB 3 gives the language that will be on the ballot because apparently before, when we had constitutional amendments, there were never any bills of what the language will look like. This is different. This might be like one of the first times of doing it where the IGA, the Indiana General Assembly, they come up with how it's going to be written on the ballot. Apparently before, the Secretary of State used to do it with their own language. Can you imagine Diego going on there? He's like, hey, this has no bail, I don't know if you like these. Who could say? All right. In this SB 171, totally confusing bill. Even trying to read through it, I got nothing. It's all I know is it has to do with adoption and the judges. That's all I got on that, to be honest with you. Relocate. Okay, 179 to 167. Oh, let me get my 167 notes out here. Where are they? I don't have them. It doesn't matter. All right, 167 has to do with the relocation of outdoor advertising signs. This has been a big deal for the last couple of years, and I'm not exactly sure why. Diego says, I pay. He says, no, hey, 92 counties in 3 months, the fastest one to travel around Indiana. Hey, promises made, promises kept. All right, so the outdoor advertising signs, big controversy over in Marion County because this bill only really applies in Marion County. And basically, they're talking about setbacks. They're saying, hey, I don't the property, the people that own the property, how are we going to work this out? Hey, what about when we have to move the sign? How is that whole thing going to work? What about if we want to have digital signs? How is that going to work out? So the woman from, I forgot what her name, Julovic, something like that, whatever. Whoever runs the Marion County DMD, Indianapolis DMD, she gave out this entire story. It was so long that Jim Pressel, who's the chair of Roads and Transportation, like, are you almost done? And she's like, yeah, I'm almost done. And she gave basically the whole timeline between how the neighborhoods, especially in the historic districts, wanted to deal with the outdoor signs. And I'm talking about the billboards. I'm not talking about like free apples or something. And then they tried working with Reagan Outdoor Signs because that's who this whole thing is all about. And they thought that they had a compromise. DMD went out to Reagan and said, hey, let's try and work this out. Make sure you like it. Never heard anything back. They ended up approving it through the city council. And now they're still trying to figure it out. And so Jim Pressel is just like, listen, I'm going to have to be the bad guy here. Both of you guys, the neighborhoods, and the outdoor sign people are not going to like what I'm about to do. And that's basically what happened because he was saying, there's actually, hold on, I wonder if the amendment will work. Let me see. Okay, so it's, hey, we're going to get rid of all the signs inside of 465, and the only signs that will be around are in the historic districts. And those signs are going to be changed into digital signs. And it's just like, and you know what? I got a week to think about it. And maybe I'll add another amendment. Jim Pressel is basically saying, it's like, you guys are going to figure this out, or I'm going to make you both hate it. I'm going to have to be Papa over here. I'm going to have to be Papa Pressel over here and give both of you a spanking. And he's like, all right, we're done. And this was actually like the end. The first thing that they talked about was SB 179. SB 179 is kind of a bigger bill too, but the amendment that they had for it was even funnier. So these SB Amendment 11. Oh, let me pull up the high notes for SB 179. All right, so INDOT's going to take over federal environment reviews. Indiana can assume U.S. DOT's role for certain federal environmental laws. More money back to blah blah blah. Truck overweight permits, single trip overweight permits valid 5 days. Contractor liability protection. Oh, this is yeah. This has to do with, what is it called? It's CEI, but I had my notes on what the actual acronym for, but it has to do with the inspectors. Oh, here it is. All right, so it has to do with the inspectors because apparently a lot of these lawsuits are they're being part of them for some random reason, just because, hey, we're there to observe, we're there to report, and we're there to document. But when there's some kind of lawsuit, they automatically get thrown in there just because they're part of the paperwork. They're basically collateral damage. And apparently this is increasing insurance rates at all. So what this bill does, just like that tort reform bill that I talked about last week, this would say, hey, CEIs, unless you are actually negligent, you will not be part of this lawsuit. And because they're saying their CEI firms are basically seeing like 2 to 3 lawsuits a year, and all the money ranges could be like $50,000 to $100,000. Now, Amendment 11, this one was was the funniest one ever, because Andy Nielsen, this little twerp on the east side, he goes out there and speaks. I'm like, this guy doesn't have a job, does he? Because you're out in the morning and you're giving testimony because of Amendment 11. So do you guys remember back in 2024 when all the city councilors were going to be getting $1 million each to do their own special little project? And we were trying to figure out, like, whatever happened to those projects? Well, apparently these things were all taking a really long time because we have to do inspections, how much it's going to cost. You have to do RFPs. And then other counselors are trying to combine all their money to do one big project, like Carlino and McCormick. They were trying to do their like Megazord project, and ended up being crap. So this and what Andy Nielsen said was like, hey, we had a bunch of leftover money, and we were like, and then it was determined that they were going to be able to have $1 million each to do whatever project they had, as long as it was through Parks or DPW. Well, this bill, so hold on. So Mirror Indy, they come out with an article last year, basically like, hey, we're starting to figure out where all this money, who is spending what on each project. There are like 2 counselors that did a road in front of their house. Pressel said there was someone had fixed a road from their house to their work, and forgot who it was. I know Michael Paul Hart was in one of the articles too. I thought that was funny. Leftover from where? Leftover from the budget. They had $25 million extra in the budget, and they gave it to the city councilors so one of them could go do and fix the road in front of their house. Not even joking, by the way. Hold on, let me pull it up. Real quick. Dude, I heard this. I'm like, this is so funny. All right, hold on. This is the article that they had. Let me put this in the chat. Stand by. All right, link is in the chat. Let's see. Parks, Wells, Forest and Green, don't care. East side, west side, north side, south side. Councilor Frank, south side wants to design a roundabout. Ron Gibson, Derek Cahill, McCormick used to fix up additional money going towards crap. I don't care. Where is it? West Side, Jared Evans, Chris, Michael Paul Hart said he picked it. God, there was somebody. There was some. I remember seeing it. Maybe this was not the article. There was somebody who had actually like done a did Paul N.A. spend his he is on there. He's on the south side, I think. spend it on Ozempic. Just kidding. Thought it- There it is. So they're hoping, he's hoping for his $1 million to acquire 23-acre parcel of land located I-69 west of South Harding and just north of West Harding. Hope to turn the space into a park. The green space, which is a floodplain, is currently on the market, but the city's real estate team and the property owner are at a standstill in the negotiation process. Well, there you go. He wants to build a park instead of fixing the roads. I don't care about a park. I want the roads fixed. I don't need to care about a spot where all the bums are going to lay out at. All right, anyway. I'll have to look for it more. But going either way, I do remember seeing that. So funny enough. Okay, so why do I say this? Because there is... there it is. So now they took it out where they say a county including a county including a county containing a consolidated city as in Indianapolis may not budget or designate any funds that are distributed to the county from the motor vehicle highway account or a project to be selected by the individual member of the city council. And then they go on forth with the next one. They said funds that are distributed to the county from the local road and street account. So they're wanting to make sure that, hey, those two accounts are meant to fix the roads, all right? And they're not meant for city council pet projects, just to make sure that you knew. So I think, you know, to be fair with Andy Nielsen, he was saying that it was leftover money. But leftover money from what? Was it from those accounts? Because that's what I'd like to know. Was there, like, how much, where did you not spend that money? And then there was one more amendment, wasn't there? Okay, yeah, so the stacking. This was Amendment 9, I think. Yeah, Amendment 9. All right, let me explain this to you. When SB 1 came out, all these municipalities and counties were like, we're not going to have enough money. So we're going to have to start raising taxes, like the wheel tax. It happened over in Franklin. It happened in I think it was happening in Avon too. And what the problem was is that the county already had a wheel tax. And so these municipalities, the cities and towns, they were like, well, we're going to add another wheel tax on top of that. So you were getting double dipped. And they even said that too. But what was weird, according to this Hamilton County, she was representing the Hamilton County commissioners. She said that even when you did it, you were only getting like 17 cents on the dollar with the other tax, which, you know, I'm not exactly sure how that works. I guess whatever's in the language. So the more so they're what they're saying is here, let me show it. I think I even had ChatGPT, sorry, Ducky, write me up a picture of it. This is 79, right? Hold on. What bill is it? It is 170. Oh, here we go. Are you gonna try? Okay, there we go. So this is it right here. This would be under the bill, no more double taxing. So if a city has a tax or a wheel tax, the county can't do it. If the city does not have a tax, then the county can do it and the city cannot. That is the whole deal. Then they'll have to adopt together what the wheel tax is going to be. So I'm sure the counties will be like, listen, why don't we just double it up? Instead of two separate ones, we'll just we'll consolidate the totally screwing over. That's basically what it is. And then there was another amendment. Yeah, there was an amendment, but it's not even on the website yet. For siting of new transmission lines. So they're trying to save money, and they're also trying to save time, because right now, apparently there is a prohibition of where the transmission lines go right now on interstate and controlled access on the highways, and I think possibly on right-of-ways, that they're not allowed to have transmission lines. So it has not been heard yet. Jim Pressel was just basically giving everybody a heads up. This might be happening next week. All right. Moving on, there are some of them that I did not watch, like, hey, the regulation of grease control equipment. Hey, do you know how fryer oil is recycled? We're going to build regulations on it. I have to go back and watch this Family and Children's Services one. I don't see any ones that I would probably have a problem with. Tell you what, though, the possibly the worst state representative in all of Indiana is Victoria Garcia Wilburn. But this is a good bill, 1036. Needs to be needs to resign. And then the wakeboarding and waste surfing. I want to go back. Okay, so I'm sure people voted no on this on 1204 because it was going to raise the entrance fees into some of these parks, and also the wakeboarding and wake surfing. It's a total douchebag move for these people that live on a lake. Like, hey, you don't want to have people wakeboarding or wake surfing at 9 o'clock at night, do you? During the summer. And then the seed laws and Bo Baird fertilizer bill. Yeah, don't really. All right, moving on here. There we go. All right, so what happened in the House? The House met. They were basically glazing a legislator that was not going to be there anymore. So no big deal on SB 25, school board candidates, not as important as you think it is. We still have not heard SB 76. Now, instead of 20 amendments, now we are at 38. You guys are just building more time. We're going to have like 50 amendments by the time this bill is heard on the floor. Get your popcorn, get your Snuggie, get your slippers on, because that one's going to spend all day on the floor. All right, then candidacy documents 112 passed without a problem. Surplus interconnection service takes away. Not that one. Okay, not that one. That's the Senate. That's the House. I kind of wanted to look. Oh, not that one. 41. No. Yeah, nothing. Redaction of court records. No, it was not heard. State chemist. I don't care. Court security. This one's slightly annoying. All right, but I understand it. I just don't like it. All right, 291 is about basically retracting information from protecting judges' personal info. So it's an anti-dox bill for judges in current or retired Indiana judges. Federal judges living in Indiana, their spouses, their kids, dependents at home. So what is protected? Home address, phone numbers, email, date of birth, social security number, driver's license, bank, blah, 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 blah. What agencies must do? If a judge asks agency acknowledge within 1 day, remove info within 3 days. If they don't, judge can sue for damages, injunction, and attorney fees. It also creates court marshals for court security officers, because I think how they do it now in courtrooms or the sheriff's office are basically a security. And what this would do is that the courts can now appoint a Supreme Court marshal and a Court of Appeals tax court marshal and deputies. And their job is to protect the judges and the staff, securing courthouse and the offices, security at events. So if a judge is going to an event, it's going to be these yokums, these marshals. Powers they can get: carry a firearm, use necessary force, detain people, access criminal history and BMV data. But they can't act like regular cops, must defer arrest to local police, only respond to court-related threats. Basically, a little bit leveled up security. No big deal. This is what I did not like. Because, listen, I understand that there was the judge over in Tippecanoe County, and I think the wife were shot by that crazy guy, and then there was other crazy people that were involved. Now, Andrew Ireland, he had an amendment that would also take their address off of addresses in election and campaign finance reports are now explicitly included in the protected personal information list. This is what I don't like. When you sign up to run for office, you're basically, I don't like it, but that's how it is, because Democrats and liberals are absolutely crazy. They're out of their mind, where they say, I'm going to go kill somebody. At the same time, like when I run for office, I know what I'm signing up for. I know there's a bunch of crazy people that probably want to kill me. It is what it is. However, with that being said, I don't like this amendment at all, because I thought we were supposed to be transparent, because this takes away the transparency if they're even in the district that they are allowed to run in. Where is the oversight in that? That is what I would like to know. And I'm not completely against this amendment. What I am against is the lack of transparency. And all of you guys know out there how much I love my transparency. I love looking up data. It's not like I'm posting people's addresses out there. But I do want to question, it's like, are you even allowed to run in the district that you live or that you allegedly live in? And now we've just taken that level of transparency away. Now, I have to, I normally would not go further than that, but, you know, I'm me. I'm me. And I feel like I started thinking about this a little bit. It's like, all right, what's the game you're playing here, Andrew? Is it because you're trying to get the judges on your side for something? Maybe trying to, I don't know, take prosecutors' funding away and they make the judges happy? Or is it like the bad way? You know, I got like the angel on my side and El Diablo on the other. And El Diablo is saying, no, no, Witty. What he's actually trying to, what's he's being in his establishment. Didn't you say it? It's like eventually he'll turn establishment, and this is the first turn of it. He's saying, no, we don't want, I'm part of the boys now. I'm protecting my own establishment kind. I'm more leaning to the angel side, by the way. All right. The right side. That's what it is. You guys can think whatever you want. I don't care. All right. Motor vehicle equipment requirements. No big deal. SB 80 is just cleanup language. That happens every year. Utility service enhancement improvement costs. This has to do with, oh, that's what I wanted to do. I'm going to look this up because I think this bill is, hold on. Did I have it? I'm going to talk about this bill tomorrow because I think it's crap. 241, because this like workforce development thing, I think all it does is take away, it gives a waiver to apartments or like rentals that may or may not have people that do some kind of workforce. I don't know. I want to look into it a little bit more. But 258, that's the fun one, because this is the one that I talked about last week with the Supreme Court decision and basically taking away state control on a certain things, and it's now only allowing federal control, and it mostly has to do with nuclear stuff. So the Fed said it should be under the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and that means construction, radiological safety, and operations. The only thing that the state can have is siting, and this is preemption. Also, they're talking about local meetings. They're not really going away per se, but they're just being done differently. And for some reason, I remember Saad saying that the IURC is going to be handling the public meetings. Don't know if that's true or not. But it did pass 64 to 28, which I thought was fascinating. I want to see who voted against it in the, hold on, action. Where was it? I want to see where it happened on the 36 to 9. Who voted against it in the Senate? Okay. Whatever. All right. So moving on to that, move on to the House or to the Senate. They didn't. I don't know why they still haven't heard 1048 Vivity clothing and all. This just raises the tax credit. Basically, it's kind of ridiculous. Annexation, whatever. Technical corrections, just clean up. If you see Freeman and Gray Zone Greg Taylor on there, it's probably an okay bill, because Freeman is an ornery kind of guy, very short fused, and he's not going to just do something for nothing. Okay. You know, whenever I talk about something, I always have to check my phone. All right. I bet I'm going to get a text from somebody. Listen, it wasn't anything. I was just messing around, all right? I was just playing devil's advocate on this one. We're just having fun. All right, so there are 1150 local regulation. This is basically about oh, by the way, I look forward to seeing that. I saw it was on seconds, right? Is that what it was? No kidding. Okay. Interesting. I'm looking for, so no kidding. Well, tomorrow should be fun then. Local regulation. This was the bill that would tell, is this the HOA bill, right? Yes. It would, and you know how much Freeman loves HOAs. So this bill would say, hey, guess what? You know how there's some of these HOAs that say you have to have an electric lawnmower? You can't have gas anymore. Well, this bill prohibits a lot of that. JD Ford actually, I thought he had a good amendment that would say that a HOA cannot prohibit the Indiana flag or the U.S. flag. And I was like, it feels like there's going to be some sidestepping ways, like, hey, we already have those flags. What's wrong with the trans flag? What's wrong with the pride flag? So that thing didn't even get heard. Um, of course, Freeman, he had one that that prohibits HOAs from having a license plate reader, which I thought was I was like, that's a good spot. Hunley had an amendment that would put the language back in for Marion County building owners to have to report of what their energy data is. Because she's thinking businesses don't. This was so funny. I'm like, do you not think that businesses want to save money in electricity? And this is your argument to saying, hey, if we give you this data, then we can give you the information back of saying you just need better light bulbs, right? She says people will not get in trouble, but I say that is wrong because the crazy lady with the crazy glasses from the environmental sustainability department, she was saying that people are going to start getting fined if they don't report the data. And also, Freeman had to make sure that he pointed out that the program is voluntary. All right, so it's not taking away the program; it's taking away the power of the city to force you into the program. You can still volunteer; nobody's stopping you from that. This is like that whole levelized billing thing. Don't force me to be on some BS billing crap. If I want it, I'll do it. And then the carbon bill did not get heard on seconds. This is the primacy bill amendment from Coach. I don't care about that. And then mental health services, that all went to seconds. No big deal. State Board of Accounts. I don't think there's anything on there. And then the Praiser statute of limitations. We talked about that last week. Scott Alexander, senator, he said that it would give statute of limitations for 5 years for appraisers. All right, cool. We got through that, huh? Got all my notes and everything. I always get confused on the nuclear bill and the carbon bill about primacy and preemption. Two peas in a pod, as they. All right, so what's going on tomorrow? Well, we got 33 bills, 10 committees, 22 amendments. A lot of stuff going on here. I don't think there's going to be too much going on. 270. Hey, special powers in the chat. You'll love this one. Township mergers, right? Let's see. Hey, no fingers in the butthole for SB 90. This is amend and vote only. There's no amendments from what I see so far. The syringe exchange program, which is BS. Does this mean in the House? Hold on. Yes. Okay. God, I hope that thing gets killed. Suspension of permits. ATF. Alcoholic beverage permits for county fairs. That one probably shouldn't have a problem. Funny that Schockweiler's a boozer now. Who would have thought? Must be from Bose. I gotta check to see how much money how much money Schockweiler got from Bose. Reorganization, consumer lending laws, non-participating providers. Garten has been on this. I don't know if this is how he has always been, but Chris Garten has been on this massive Medicaid thing lately. It is very fun to watch. Extension of water services, 1040 battery against vulnerable workers. This one should pass no problem. I think this opens it up to teachers, right? And DCS employees. Oh yeah, healthcare employees and school employees. They should just be expelled and deported, but this one will pass no problem. Residency of public defenders. And Rodney Pohl and Greg Taylor are sponsoring it, so that'll definitely pass. Oh, that's it. I don't think there's anything else special. It's just going to be a lot of boring bills. These should have run through pretty quick. However, except for this one. This one definitely will. I will be watching. What time is this at? Adjournment from Veterans Affairs. Hold on. Is the House being heard? Are they being heard tomorrow? Do they have meetings tomorrow? Senate and House are meeting at 1:30. I'm sure there's gonna be I'm sure Okay, local regulation did not. Oh, I'm sure carbon will get a little bit spicy. Dude, I want to hope. I'm gonna get a cot out 38. I wish I had a third. I really wish I had a third laptop. To be honest with you, I know. Okay. So hold on. Where's the? I'm gonna be paying attention to that one for sure. Special power. I will be streaming that one. How's that sound? So we can watch it together. What time is that at? Oh, let me find it. Okay, this one's at 8:30, so 7:30 your time. This one will be heard. I think this is the point system, right? Yeah, I think this is the goofy point system. So I'll be talking about that one tomorrow. I have to go back to some bills and committee meetings. I do need to get coffee filters. I mean, that's it, really. Yeah. So I'll remember to bring my laptop tomorrow because that's why there was no streaming today. I didn't have my extra laptop. Dude, I love getting text messages in the middle of the show. Oh, okay. Oh, see, I like it when it's on the website. I don't like talking to people if I don't have to. Especially like I work like 15 hours a day, so sometimes I can't always calling people and trying to get stuff is like impossible for me. I need to have like a hologram Witty, like a hologram Tupac. That'd be so awesome. Yeah, I know. They'll be streaming tomorrow, I promise. It'll be at what's the very first one that shows up tomorrow? Oh, let me check. Tomorrow it'll be at wait a minute, I thought I saw an 8:30. Oh yeah, okay, so we're doing 8:30 for local government. Yeah. Starts at 8:30, boys and girls. That's what we're doing for local government. And just a problem. It's a problem. There's so much to watch and so little time, and IGA hasn't been exactly that great on archiving the videos right away. All right, with that being said, 7 o'clock show for the Indy Reporter show. Don't forget. And then, you know, what happens at the 8 o'clock show, Woody Review show at 8 o'clock on the Chateau de Marseille Studio channel. With that being said, you guys have a great night. Stay warm, stay safe, stay dry, and do everything that I would do. Love you guys. Bye.